Welcome. I'm Elijah McCoy, a mechatronics student at CSI, and you're watching my capstone video about the NAV. What is the NAV? NAV stands for Navigationally Autonomous Vehicle. What that means is my project aims to achieve a balance between mobility and sensing a chaotic environment, then acting on it. I'm going to walk you through the 5 phases of my project. The 5 phases are planning, assembly, wiring, code, and testing. Let's start with planning. For about 1 week after my project got approved, I drew out plans for the project and what I would in general be doing. I made sure I knew how everything was going to work out, figuring out dimensions and how certain systems would work. Once those systems were fleshed out, I knew I was ready. Now on to assembly. Once I had my plan and received my parts, things started to come together. I laid out how I thought everything would look and got started with attaching my motors and wheels to the aluminum base plate I CNC'd. Once that was done, I was ready for wiring. I had drawn out a wiring plan and knew which GPIO pins I was going to use on my ESP32s, so I got right to work and soldered my vehicle together. But once I got started with my initial testing of this design, I realized I didn't have enough current going to my motors and upgraded to a bigger battery as well as better motor drivers to handle the extra current. My controller and sensor wiring went off without any problems though, and I was able to move on. I ended up having to wire another ESP32 microcontroller to handle my sensors since the vehicle ESP32 was having a hard time, but eventually I figured it out. Now for code. I have around 700 lines of code to achieve a manual, assisted, and autonomous mode. I coded in C++ using Arduino IDE to upload my microcontrollers, and this setup didn't cause me any problems. I tested a lot of things during this project. I tested general movement, making sure my motors spun correctly while under load so that the vehicle could move in the correct way. I also tested mobility, making sure it moved in the correct direction under all the load that it was under. This helped me figure out power supply problems, and all the while I debugged code. Figuring out the sensors was nice as it allowed me to achieve assisted and autonomous driving modes, and here you can see me figuring out and testing it, finally making sure that it worked. While certain problems were more frustrating than others, all of them are satisfying to solve in the end. This project has really shown me what I can achieve if I put my mind to it. Thanks for watching my senior capstone video. Goodbye.